should be. If we rely only on verbal communication and expect the world to respond, and even verbally, I mean, when we speak between cultures, we have difficulty communicating what we feel, what we think. Even between people that using the same language, we can have difficulty communicating what we experience, what we feel, what we're thinking. And it takes a long time to establish the kind of trust, the kind of understanding that can create this reliable form of communicating. Our expectations of the world around us, if we do not make an effort to be mindful of what we're communicating and how we are affecting the world around us, we can be and we experience difficulties. Our animals in our home, again, we've had all sorts of animals, long line of cats and dogs and rabbits. I think we had a rabbit once. We had mice in the house, in cages, not running around. Speedy, the lizard. We still have koi in the backyard. There are 2 koi now that we've had for, it must be almost 10 years now, these koi. Small pond. It took a long time to figure out how to balance the pond without imposing what I think needed. And see, that was a lesson too. In the beginning I thought, oh, you had to mess around with the filters. That you had to do a lot of things with the filters in order to make sure that the water was clear and balanced and whatever. But actually you don't. You don't have to. The more you fuss around with the filters, the more you introduce things to it, the more you keep it out of balance. And it's that balance that the pond is trying to get to, where there are enough of the appropriate bacteria that, enzymes that break down the nitrates that are produced in the pond. As food is entered into the pond or placed in the pond, the fish consume the pond, it comes out as nitrates, and that bacteria breaks down on nitrates into nitrites and something else. There was something else that it comes down to. But so you have this pond filter with a lot of surface area in which these bacteria can develop their colonies. And as water flows through this ribbon of filter material, the bacteria breaks down the stuff in the water. And then it comes out on the other end as water that is free of those kinds of toxins. And a pond works like that. You don't see people out in a pond, I mean a normal pond or a lake, you don't see people out in a pond or a lake kind of adding things to the lake. It's a normal process that takes place where these things are absorbed and released. Ecology, same thing. I mean, we want to fuss around with things, asserting our expectations upon the world around us, and it disrupts it. Same thing with the pond. And unfortunately, we lost a lot of fish in the process of discovering this, establishing this pond that is now stable, and it's been stable for, I don't know, must be about 2-3 years now, without having to do anything to it except add water, introduce some food into this basically balanced ecological system. When we impose our views and perspectives without an understanding of what is taking place, it can cause great difficulties. In this case, for the fish that are living in this pond, and frustration for me trying to figure out what to do. Again, the Dharma is about seeing things clearly, about seeing things as they are. Sometimes we see something like that. I said, well, maybe we should just not be involved, not be engaged. Well, that might not be the best thing to do. that might not be what is appropriate and what is needed. Maybe our intervention into something is necessary. So it's not just what is or what is not. It's what's appropriate. And our response to the world around us affects that world. The teachings of the Buddha are simply about moving towards that understanding, toward that deepening understanding of our relationship to the world around us, being able to simply see things as they are. This morning, as we participated and observed this pet memorial service, sure, we put up, Fluffy and, Chewy and these memorials, these pictures of pets that we've had in our family, but they are a reminder of how important they were in our lives. They continue to be in our lives, but also a reminder of what we've learned through that relationship, and expressing gratitude and appreciation for that continued opportunity to discover those things that are important in our lives. Pets help us to see more clearly because they are so immediately responsive to how what is taking place around them. They help us to, because of our responsibility, they help us to deepen our own appreciation and understanding of what we experience as human beings and what we share with one another. Today, although the Pet Memorial Service really was more for the Dharma School, I think it offers us opportunity to think about, reflect upon the relationship certainly we share with our pets that we might have at home, but also, just as importantly, with one another and the world in which we live, to discover in those relationships what the Dharma is telling us, what the teachings of the Buddha are about, how the teachings of the Buddha inform us of the way that we see the world and how we respond and interact and engage ourselves with the world around us. Enlightenment is the central concern of all schools of Buddhism, to be able to simply see things as they are, to respond to the world in a way that is true, real, authentic, and genuine. Okay, thank you very much.